Is Fabian Urbanski the future of Polish boxing? Is he the guy who's going to single-handedly drag the sweet science out from underneath the massive shadow of MMA in Central Europe? Welcome back to The Fight with Tom White. Today we're taking a deep dive into the most exciting amateur prospect to come out of Poland in a very long time, at least in men's boxing. I'll be honest, for the past couple of years on my personal Instagram account, I've been following the amateur career of Fabian Urbanski, and I have to say, I'm extremely excited about what the future holds for this guy. So in Poland, where I live, mixed martial arts is massive. It's by far and away the most popular combat sport, I think, dwarfing boxing in terms of spectatorship and participation. For many people under 30, it's a close second to football, soccer. And for some people, it might even be their number one favourite sport. But if Urbanski can capture Olympic gold in 2028, he'll become, I think, their first male gold medalist in the sport since 1976, so 50 years ago. In other words, he could become a bit of a national hero. Because here's the thing, Polish boxing has a rich amateur history. It once was operating as a kind of global powerhouse under the legendary training methodologies of Felix Stam, the father of Polish boxing. And then later on, the two gold medals of Jerzy Kule in the 1960s. I think that's how you pronounce his name. But in more recent decades, MMA has essentially overshadowed that legacy for better or worse. Young Polish people see their fighters flying the flag in the cage as opposed to the squared circle. And the rise of KSW or KSW turned MMA here into a mainstream juggernaut. And lately it's the freak fight promotions monopolising the youth's attention, prioritising social media drama over actual athletic skill. But Urbanski, he's the antidote to all of that, I think. You can't really understand Fabian without looking at the ecosystem that built him. He's a 19-year-old light heavyweight from Szczecin, and he didn't just walk into a gym one day, he was bred for this. His dad, Daniel Urbański, was a professional journeyman who ground out 61 professional bouts. Now, when you talk about a record of 22 wins, 36 losses, it might not scream elite to the casual fan, but Daniel shared the ring with some top-tier pros. He fought a young Gennady Golovkin. And when you spend your career doing rounds with guys like Triple G, you will learn a thing or two about championship-level tactics and techniques, right? And Daniel took on all those hard-earned lessons and he poured them directly into his sons. Because it's not just Fabian, right? It's his older brother Alex, who's a bronze medalist, I think, at the European Junior Championships. So they're grinding together at BKS Scorpion in Szczecin, acting as each other's primary tactical foils. It's an iron sharpen irons kind of family. So how do we know if this kid is actually legitimate and not just another overhyped prospect? Well, you have to look at the hardware. In December 2023, he went into hostile territory at the IBA World Junior Championships in Yerevan. Again, hope I got the pronunciation right. He made history there by becoming the first ever Polish boxer to secure an IBA World Junior Championship. In the semi-finals, he lost the first two rounds against an aggressive German fighter, but showed incredible poise, fought on the front foot, and he snatched a comeback victory. In the final, he neutralised the crowd and tournament favourite. I'm not even going to try and pronounce this name, but I'll put it there. Cruising to a split decision win. He proved it wasn't a fluke by dominating the 2025 European Junior Championships in Ostrava, Czech Republic, securing a unanimous decision in the finals. Right now, he's fully transitioning into the senior ranks, fighting in the Polish Boxing League at 80 kilograms. And here's the thing, he's absolutely cruising. He's currently sitting at an undefeated 7-0 in the PLB, handling physically mature guys Without headgear, obviously, like it's a light sparring session, it's just easy for him. And that ease is what separates the really good guys from the elite guys. But let's talk about the tape. What does Fabian actually look like in the ring? Under his head coach, with another surname, Polish this time, I won't pronounce very well, so I'll put it on the screen. He's developed a highly specialised, reflex-heavy style, at least from my eyes. And as a big fan of Prince Naseem Hamed, as well as Roy Jones, that's something that I love. So he utilises a highly relaxed, low guard posture, like I said. And this stance maximises his field of vision and allows him to slip punches by fractions of an inch. And he preserves loads of energy by relying on his rotation of his body, of his torso, instead of a high tense guard that's more typically associated with this part of the world. Offensively, he relies on explosive, short-angled counterpunches. He's incredibly dangerous against pressure fighters because of his ability to counter while moving backwards, a bit like Terence Crawford. But he isn't perfect. The biggest hurdle that he's been through recently is the transition to senior amateur boxing, where obviously you take the headgear off. That slick, low guard defence is pure highlight reel stuff in the juniors, but against heavy-handed seniors, he runs a bit of a bigger risk of not necessarily just flash knockdowns, but cuts. And he's also got a bit of a habit of starting slow. Just like we saw in Yerevan, he sometimes drops the first round while he downloads his opponent's timing. In 3-round senior fights, dropping the first round leaves you basically zero margin for error. Plus, having grown pretty quickly into that 80 kilogram frame, he has to make sure that he's packing on functional muscle without losing that dynamic lateral mobility that makes his counterpunching so effective. The road to LA 2028. So what's the end game? Right now, his eyes are set firmly on Los Angeles 2028. To grasp how huge this is, you need to know that the last Polish male to win an Olympic boxing medal was Wojciech Bartnik, who took bronze in Barcelona in 1992. That is a massive 36-year drought for men's boxing in a country with a massive combat sports scene. They've been starved of it. We recently saw a spark of hope where Yulia Shedemeta won silver at Paris 2024. Her run proved that the Polish public will still absolutely rally behind high-level boxing if there's an entertaining star leading the path. A couple of MMA promotions, not KSW, in Poland, since then have been throwing money at her, but she's turned it down because she wants to win gold in LA. But it is noteworthy though that it's the MMA organisations and not the boxing ones that, at least to my knowledge, are the ones tempting her away or trying to. It shows the financial disparity between the two sports at this moment in time, in Poland. Anyway, if Fabian can qualify through the brutal European brackets and make that Olympic run in 2028, which I think he will, it potentially changes everything structurally for Polish boxing because it means Ministry of Sport funding. Because although women's boxing has taken some massive strides in the past 10 years, it is still the men who capture the biggest mainstream attention, and I don't know about you, but I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. It means corporate sponsorships shifting away from freak fights and back into traditional boxing. It means a whole new generation of kids lacing up 16-ounce gloves instead of chasing fake drama internet clout. One can hope. In essence, Fabian Urbanski isn't just fighting for medals, he's fighting for something more, to reclaim a national legacy. And my advice is, keep your eyes on this guy because I think he might be something very special. And look, I live here in Poland. I've chosen it as my second home. My son is going to grow up here and he's half Polish, and I really want him to have some kind of homegrown heroes to look up to in the sport that I've loved since I was a teenager, not just the ones in his other home in Britain. So, Fabian, bring home the gold, mate. No pressure. But as always, let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Does Urbanski have the style to go all the way in LA? So hit that like button and subscribe for more fighter breakdowns. And I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.